Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. These are general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter placement. Let's get into it. So the first card you have, Libra, is the Whip, number 11, and this is the Jack of Clubs. So the number 11 can be important for you. Further, it says dynamic action, rapid movement, energetic forward motion, youthful vitality, the power of decisive movement, and transformative energy that comes from bold, swift action. Further down it says, this is not violence. It is purposeful momentum, courageous decisiveness, and the liberation that emerges when you stop hesitating and move. So basically, the energy of this card is to stop procrastinating, stop waiting. Maybe you've been waiting too long, preparing, getting your ducks in a row, or even just, fearful or hesitating. But here, the Whip energy is all about forward momentum. When you move forward, even if you take the smallest baby step forward, it creates some kind of change. It creates some kind of momentum. Now, I'm also getting very youthful energy from this, and I feel that your ability, and Libra, you are 7th house, you're ruled by Venus. You're the air sign. And I feel that at this point in time, the gift of Venus is for you to move forward with proper decisiveness. And you at this point in time, you need to act, you need to move forward, be bold about it, There needs to be forward momentum. Now, for some of you, this could also mean some kind of a conflict. Maybe you got into a tiff with somebody, some kind of an argument, or somebody got a little aggressive. But this is something like when you don't agree, because two people are thinking differently, and there might be some arguments that could turn personal, or maybe somebody is trying to show down on you, or some kind of a personal could be a personal attack, could be some kind of I hope you're not in kind of a physical tiff or something like that. But if you see the negative side of this energy, this could be that, some kind of a misaligned behavior. Maybe there's some kind of a negative experience that is fueling this kind of behavior. Whip is also painful, right? So there might be something that is said and done that could be hurting. Or maybe, sometimes we do it unintentionally. Sometimes people do it unintentionally to us. But whatever this is, this can also be some kind of, self-inflicted punishment as well. It doesn't have to be that somebody else is trying to cause you any harm, but this can be that you are standing in your own way because you're harming yourself. Where you are internalizing things, what people have said, or maybe something's bothering you for way too long, kind of suffering in silence. Something maybe that, maybe you're not really proud of, or something like that. It could be, a range of emotions come out with this Whip. Now, if this is some kind of a health issue, that long-standing chronic health issue, that it's time for you to, pay your doctor some a visit, and just get yourself checked up. So definitely there is some kind of a little bit of a sharp edge to this. Maybe you feel like, or maybe there is something kind of a forceful, somebody trying to get something done. Maybe you're in a company and, people are trying to force you to do, extra work, or they're forcing you to use a different strategy, or forcing you to, have a different vendor, or something, maybe something that is not aligned with your values. You might be under pressure, some kind of pressure to do something. Maybe it's your family that's forcing you to do something, or maybe it's your friends or something like that. Maybe you're doing something out of obligation, who knows? But some kind of a situation which is not pleasing to you. But on the other hand, if you see, there is a broom as well alongside of this web. So this is also clearing. Brooms are used for clearing, whether it's clearing the house clutter, cleaning up, cleaning the dust. But I feel that this can also be clearing of situations, maybe clearing the air, or, the kind of energy that I pick up is clearing some kind of a situation which has not moved forward, a stagnancy. So clearing a stagnancy. And maybe there is some kind of a, you've been butting heads with somebody or something like that. But this is a point of, this is the point. This is the breaking point. This is the clearing point. This is a confrontational point. Something which you cannot bury under the rug, something that you cannot ignore. And you have to clear it out. You have to face it head on. But the good thing about this is that this is like a temporary situation, something that can easily be managed. Yeah, it feels a little heated in the moment. And yes, it will take some effort. So you cannot sit back and relax and wait for things to work out on its own. You will have to take the action. You will have to work out a solution, whether you like it or not. So the faster you take action, the sooner this energy will go away. Otherwise, this will keep you on your toes. It'll keep you anxious. It'll keep you restless. It's going to keep coming back. You won't be able to free yourself from this nightmare. This is a tension that is built up and it must be released ASAP so that you can be at peace again. Now, for some of you, this could be, like I said, it could be in a high-pressure work environment where there's a lot of competition, a lot of pressure. For some of you, this could be even, I'm also picking up sports, a lot of sports, because there's a lot of physical effort, that goes into it, a lot of fitness, a lot of sports. So some of you could be into that as well. Maybe you're overexerted, maybe you're burnt out. Yeah, but I do get a lot of hustle energy with this. And, maybe you're trying to stay ahead of everybody. You're being aggressive in your approaches or something like that could be happening. Now, for some of you, this could also be, repeating expenses that are actually draining you monthly. It's like maybe you're having some kind of losses, or maybe, you're expecting some kind of returns, monetary returns, and it's not coming, coming through. Or maybe it's like some kind of loan that maybe, it gets like kind of, maybe a missing a payment or something like that, or some kind of a financial, kind of expense, or maybe trying to stabilize your finances, and that's not working out at this one time. Could be for some of you. Now, if this is for your health, I feel that maybe this is... Sorry about that noise. Yeah, so this can also be, if this is regarding to your health, I would say there is some kind of, maybe you pulled a muscle, maybe you were doing 2 with reads or something in the gym, or maybe it's a joint pain, some kind of inflammation could be bothering you. Maybe you even, had kind of an injury. Maybe you were walking down, you slipped up, missed a step, or some kind of maybe some of you like kind of, I hope not. I hope it's not on the vehicles, but something like that could also be happening with this energy. Just be mindful that if this is something which is going on, don't strain that area. Like if it's joint, don't walk around too much. Don't strain out those areas too much, because it could lead to some kind of a more complex situation for you if you stress out, that is. Otherwise, I feel that, this is a good time to just, kind of, if there is something that's bothering you from the past, Now, I hope this is not somebody around you who's always like argumentative, always, like a troublemaker, body kind of a person who gets, aggressive or with their arguments, or just wants to be right all the time, or acts out all the time, or kind of raises their voice and things like that. So stay away from any kind of chaos. The next card you have, Libra, is assumptions. Now further it says you might be assuming things, and what you are assuming now is incorrect. Further down it says assumption, assuming is a form of a stereotyping. What are you accepting as truth, even though it is simply an assumption? You are being called to ask and understand rather than to assume. Okay, so again, this is about, something that you have accepted that it's what it is, it's the truth. And you don't even question like, is this even for real? Or maybe or maybe you, in your head, you tell things to yourself that may not be, real. So these are the, assumptions that cause a lot of complexities and problems. So I feel that this is a call for you, Libra, to actually ask yourself, like, what did you just assume? What you took, like, it is what it is. It is this way. Maybe it's not really, and it's telling you it's not. So it's not like, it's not about shaming or blaming anyone. It's just, a moment where you can get some clarity by asking your own self. Ask, check on your own self. Check your talks that you tell yourself. Because there is something that might be bothering you just because you have assumed it. Further on it says, what have you assumed to be true? What story are you telling about the situation? What if that story is not accurate? What if you have been operating from false beliefs? What if the assumption you've never questioned is the very thing that has kept you stuck? So it's a time to question everything, Libra. Everything, it may be that whatever you have assumed, it just made you, comfort yourself, made you feel like, form a narrative, protect yourself. But now is the time, it's asking, the energy is available to you. It's actually asking you to ask yourself those questions so that you get the clarity. And clarity is the point of, liberation. If clarity gives us freedom, clarity gives us liberation. So ask those questions, get the clarity. It's like, for example, sometimes we feel that people are able to read our minds while they're not really. Nobody has that power. And sometimes we don't feel the need to say it out loud or communicate, and that's when the conflict starts to happen, because we assumed the other person would understand and they don't, and we're like kind of, it leads to a deeper misunderstanding for no reason. So, and it's true that sometimes things that we keep thinking, it becomes our truth. Believe it or not, if you repeat 110 times, something in our head, we start believing in it. It becomes our truth. So that's what you're been asked to break away from at this point in time. And even, and there's a lot of relationship assumptions. Like, we assume this person's going to do this. We assume this person's that. So, it's always better to communicate. It's always better to, talk it out, clear the air, clear misunderstandings, because communication, assumptions, and all of this, they actually shape our relationships, each and every relationship, whether it's friends, neighbors, families, office, whatever that is. So there is some kind of an illusion that you have been, entertaining. Um, and, you know, something similar came in for Virgo too, where they're operating unconsciously. Like, they got an energy of automation, like doing things out of habit, just a habit without even being mindfully present. So something like that is also coming through for you, like, living in a illusion, some kind of a conditioning. Um, and that this is a moment where you can actually deal with that whip energy. You can move fast on this, take action, ask the right questions, talk to people. And you can actually just, figure things out. This is a good opportunity for you to figure the real truth out. I really, along these lines, I am recalling a movie. It's called Shutter Island. Check that movie. You will really see how reality and our own perceptions or assumptions can, complicate things. The lead role is, I think, in that movie by Teddy Daniels. Great actor, great acting, great movie. Shutter Island is your go-to for this energy. Also, I would listen to, I love Ariana Grande and I love her song, The Problem, which I totally feel is based on this concept of assumptions. We bring in assumptions in relationships, and how our assumptions, they test us, they test our relationships, and they test our belief system and things like that. So, if you want to really, engage with this energy, listen to the song by Ariana Grande. It's called The Problem. So whether this is about at work, maybe you thought systems were working and you assumed everything was okay, and then on the release day something breaks. Or in your relationship, you thought that this person was this, that, and the third from here doing this, and you're like, no, I was completely wrong. Now, it could go both ways. Like, you are thinking somebody's really, no for no good, and that person turned out really good, or you thought somebody went behind your back, did something, and they actually did not. It was somebody else, or maybe you just thought it was it. This energy could play out in so many different ways. Now, some of you, this could be like, maybe you're shopping homes and you assume something is, something is a certain way, maybe about the neighborhood, maybe about the house, maybe about the property value, maybe about the condition of the house, and it turns out to be completely different. Or it could be you buy some items thinking that it's going to work for you, assuming that people are going to like it, or your partner's going to like it, or it's a great quality and you spend so much, and then the product comes up and you're like, what a bummer. Or, it could be that you're playing for a team and you assume that you assume that, your opponents are not as strong as you, or you assume that something is going to work, maybe a new strategy you have that you've not rehearsed or practiced or tried before, and you assume it'll work and that it doesn't. Something like that, something that you're assuming. Or maybe about your boss, like, your boss wants something and you're like, oh, you assume that they want something, whereas they really wanted something else. This could go so many ways. Maybe for health, you're like, oh, you know what? I have a headache. It's okay. I just take some painkillers, and you're like, I'll be fine. But then, you go figure out like, oh, you know what? Maybe in a few days you go maybe to the doctor. The doctor says, oh, it's not really your head that's aching. Maybe it's a tooth that's, painful and it's causing a headache or something like that, So we assume so many things. So it's not good. Assumptions are really not good. No, whether it's about ourselves, whether it's about anybody else, whether it's about a situation, I feel that, just ask the right questions. And then, I feel that you will get the clarity. The more you ask, the more you question yourself or other people, the less you assume, the more you talk to people, the more you listen, the more you understand better, things will change, things will improve. You will get the clarity, illusion will go away. Then you'll be able to figure it out. Now, further on here it says, your assumptions have been your walls. Now they can become your doors. Yeah, so something that, we take for granted is something that you need to question, something that you have assumed for sure. You need to check, you need to verify what you're believing. Is that right? Because there is a lot of clarity, and with that clarity, you will feel at peace, at ease. You will feel more freer. What you have, Libra, is the Nine of Swords in the reverse. So this is great energy. This is like air element, of course, and you are the air element, 7th house, ruled by Venus. Swords energy, especially the Nine of Swords, is not pleasant, but here it's in the reverse for you. So this is great energy. It further says of you, it's the end of mental torment. It's relief from anxiety spirals, emerging from nightmare thinking, healing from obsessive worry, and the peace that comes when you finally stop the mental warfare with yourself. This is not denial, it is authentic relief. Mental clarity is returning, and the liberation available when anxiety releases its grip. So, of course, Libra, the nightmare is ending for sure. You've suffered a lot in your own head, so let those thoughts just go and, sleep peacefully now. Because once we're more relaxed, once the thoughts are gone, once the situation is resolved, you get the clarity, you feel free, you feel calm and rested. And things, of course, will be fine. They will slowly start to get better. And the only thing is that, your mind constantly does not have to repeat those stories in your head. You don't have to worry constantly. So, yeah, these are peaceful times. It's really a good energy to have that. You might have been stressed out for something. Let me tell you, worry doesn't protect us. Worry doesn't help us in any way. Only burns us out and exhausts us. So when you release that worry, it takes a lot, because our mind's used to playback of some situation, same thoughts. So, when you release that worry, it's really a good, powerful thing to do for our own, for our own health, for our own goodness, So just let it go. Let those swords, let those worries, let those thoughts, let those words just go, and feel at ease. So I feel that, actually the other side of the story is that, the Nine of Swords is letting go of worries, because worries really doesn't help us, right? It does not mean that you don't take the right actions to fix things. It's not that you're overplaying something in your head and you're like, I'm releasing this thought, I'm letting it go. And, yes, you let it go in your head. You let it go from your head. But the situation's still there. Nothing has changed. So even though that you would temporarily feel at ease, but then the situation will come back again. So releasing these thoughts doesn't mean that you don't have to do anything about the situation. You still have to have those thoughts, whether it makes you uncomfortable or the other person uncomfortable, and resolve. Find a situation, find a solution, find the middle ground. This energy is by no means asking you to avoid taking any kind of action to fix it. It's just that once you take the right action and you've resolved everything, then the situation can be released. Then that chatter or that anxiety can be released. But this energy is by no means asking you to just wait for things to resolve on their own and don't do anything about it. It's not that at all. Because a true peace is had only when, our mind is, and the true peace is totally to be had when we know that the situation has found its resolution. It has come to a resolution, it has come to a peaceful negotiation, or it has come to a peaceful truth, or whatever that is. It's by no means asking you to forget thinking about it, whereas the other person's feeling the pain, or it has not been a pleasant end or something like that. No, bring things to peace and then release those thoughts, right? Because peace is everyone's birthright. And anxiety is something that nobody wants. Nobody wants. So, no, this anxiety could have been for anything. It could be due to your work. It could be due to your, your kids, your family, maybe the external situation in the world. Maybe there is, some news that you're hearing, which is like, really bothering you. And then you hear the news that things are being resolved or something like that could be happening as well. It doesn't have to be your own energy. It could be the energy of people around you. It could be the worldly energy that's really bothering you. Maybe some, financial something rule came about that really hurt you. But now, you figured out a way or a workaround. This could also be that health-wise, being you're kind of anxious about something and you went to a therapy or to a doctor and they gave you medications and they gave you, they calmed you down and told you that everything will be okay. And then now you're able to, calm yourself down and not worry about it. So this worry could be anything that we pick up, and yeah, so I would say that, if you, I think there is that Good Will Hunting is a movie that I relate to this energy, where it's a lot of anxiety, and the Will Hunting in that movie has a lot of anxiety, and finally he's able to release that anxiety, and then he feels at peace. Good Will Hunting is a great movie in regards to this energy. I also, there's so many songs. Let It Go, Let It Flow. We've seen that from the Frozen movie. There's also a Beatles song where, Let It Be by the Beatles, where, it talks about how, it talks about releasing anxiety and getting that mental calmness and relief and the peace, feeling at peace and at ease again and just trusting that things will be okay soon. So listen to these sounds, you'll really like it. Now, some of you could also be, anxious about buying homes, like, how's it going to be, neighborhood cost, the loan and all of that, and everything settled, and now you're feeling relaxed. Or this could be about, your purchase, like, what do I purchase? You're anxious, you got the wrong items, you overpaid, or, somebody overcharged you, or maybe you lost some money somewhere, or you thought you lost, and then you found it again in some pocket. Or you thought somebody was going to say something or do something, and when you meet with that person, they're like, no, nothing like that, and, all of these assumptions were wrong, yeah, because you had the assumptions card. This could be that you're assuming things and worrying yourself. But whatever this is, those thoughts are going away. The anxiety is going away. You're going to feel at ease, peace. Stop watching horror movies if that's what causes, you anxiety or some kind of nightmares. Don't watch those horror movies. But I do feel that in general, there is going to be less worry. It's going to be more calmness in the days to come. And further down it says, your peace is your power. Your rest is your medicine. Sleep now. So Libra, yeah, time to go to bed if you've been staying up at night and thinking and overplaying something, some thoughts in your mind, some situation. It's time to sleep well and sleep better now. That, the calm and peace is going to return to you. And that you can now stop mentally torturing your own self with, with thoughts that were not real. Because maybe somewhere down the line you assume something. And the last card for today, Libra, you have is Goddess of the Sea. It says your abundance, purification, ego. You further says it's time to come home. There is a crescent moon on this. Number 34, 34, and 7 are coming through strong with this energy. Yeah, Goddess of the Sea, lot of blue color over here. There is purification. Further it says there is flowing abundance available when you align with your true power. The purification that comes through honest self-awareness, the healthy ego that knows your worth, and the divine feminine strength that sustains all life. This is not arrogance, it is sacred confidence, authentic power, and the generosity that flows from knowing you are enough. So yeah, you are absolutely enough, Libra, and you're worthy of every bit of abundance. You are deserving of everything in this universe, and there is nothing selfish about it. It's your birthright. Your it says ego, but I feel that it is a healthy ego. It's not about being corrupt or being malicious. It's the ego that knows your value. And just like the sea, the sea gives freely, doesn't ask anything in return. The sea is abundant and it knows it. So it's the same way. It's just about, purification of your heart, mind, soul, knowing that whatever you say is aligned with your truths. Whatever you do or the actions you take is aligned with your higher self. The intentions that you set, the motives that you have behind anything is aligned with your higher self. It's pure. And you know what you're worthy of. You know what you're capable of, whether it's at work, whether it's anywhere in general, knowing what you're capable of, knowing that we have a place in this world, what we bring to the table. And, with all of that, there's a lot of abundance which is coming towards you, Libra, and I feel that you will feel it. You will feel the abundance around you. And further down it says here, your power is not selfish. Your abundance doesn't diminish others. Your ego is sacred, but it honors the truth. So, yeah, Libra, sometimes we kind of get in the mode of sacrifices, sacrificing our intelligence, our worth, just to keep the peace. So this energy is asking you to stay balanced in whatever you do. Don't undervalue yourself, but at the same time, don't get aggressive because you feel you have been giving too much of yourself. It's like, yeah, suddenly one day you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm worthy of this. And then, because I'm worthy and I'm powerful and, I will get aggressive about how I talk to people and how I deal with people and how I interact with people. That's a negative energy of this. Don't do that. This is not what this energy is asking you to do. Actually, it's a word of caution against that. So don't feel that, because you're worthy, you can start, talking down on people or just, kind of pushing people away. It's a healthy ego that we're talking about. Yeah, the ego that honors your worth, But at the same time, you have to be respectful, respect other people's worth as well. So, you're the air sign. You're all about charity, clear thinking, So, know your value. Be very honest with your own self, what you know, what you're worth. It's called self-appraisal. So be clear about that. Yes, there is a kind of a confidence that is emerging. A very divine, kind of goddess energy over here, which is about the quiet power, not aggressive power. It's like, you know your worth, you're confident, and you know that, but you don't have to, throw your weight around. It's not that. So just knowing that you're powerful in your own right, you're confident in your own right, you're worthy of every single bit is the true power. That's what this talks about here. We're speaking of the feminine goddess, the Shakti, which is the feminine divine power. So I do feel that some of you can be stepping up, maybe creating some, maybe stepping up as leaders, world leaders even. Some of you might be, starting some big side gig or a company, even startup companies. You could, there's a lot of women presence these days in every, in every world, in every domain, in every work domain, whether it's in geopolitics, whether it's in city or medicine or engineering or law, whatever that is, a startup. So some of you, I feel Libra power is all about, stepping up, claiming your power, creating that abundance for you, for your loved ones, staying healthy and staying balanced in your approach, in your generosity, in your ego, in your attitude towards others, being respectful. Some of you might be, confronting situations that you have been holding back from in a gentle way. Maybe, you've been underestimated at work. Maybe you've not been given any kind of bonus or raise at work or leadership position, even though you're capable of it. So you might be stepping in to ask for that, for your rights, and some of you might be just wanting to, live your authentic life. It's like you don't want to, you don't want to put up appearances anymore. You want to just be real with the world. You want to express who you truly are, not just follow trends or, create trends or act cool or act a certain way or something like that. It's just about adopting a genuine way of life, way of expressing, you could be stepping into that as well. I would recommend for you to watch Aquaman. It's a great movie about, Arthur Curry. He's Aquaman. How he claims his power, how he, how he becomes into that confident individual, unhealthy confidence, not a negative way. But it's a great movie for this energy, Aquaman. Check that out, or you can even listen to that Beyonce's, but we can listen to a song about formation. That's Beyonce's song. It's completely about abundance. It's about, queen energy. Some of you might be elevating in status that ways. Maybe you're like, elevating to be the queen of your spouse. Maybe you're elevating to be the, the kind of rising in power, woman power. Maybe, you have been undervaluing yourself. So now you step into that power and people kind of see that change in you. They're like, they see the more confident side of you. And I would say that not settling for things, for low quality, I would say, low quality people, low quality situations, low quality products, you're not settling for that. Some of you might be, getting more money or receiving money, and maybe you were like, ready to settle for less, but now you're like, your worth, you know what you deserve, and you're asking for that money, and you're receiving it, without being guilty about anything. Some of you might be also investing into your own self, like, taking the me time out, going, just exercising, working out, taking time for yourself, relaxing, and things like that. But this individual is all about, this energy is all about being confident, about being, being present, showing up fully in your, happy in your skin, glow that people can see, the confidence that people can see. You're unguilty about doing things, so you're feeling that power, feeling powerful in your own way. You're also, I feel you're open to receiving it. Sometimes when we're stressed out and we want to receive some help, somebody wants to give help, but we don't want to receive it. But I feel that now you're even receiving things, and, generosity, you're receiving it. You're happy to receive. While you're always happy to give, this time you're also happy to receive, or it's asking you to be happy to receive. So Libra, those were your messages, and hope you enjoyed them. So thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.